video is going to show you some of the injuries that I sustained as a child, but there are so many injuries that I'll have to make another video to tell you all about them. Thanks for watching the video, and a big shout out to everyone that has already subscribed. If you haven't subscribed yet, then feel free to do so. It's free for you and it's a big help to the channel. I had a lot of injuries as a kid because I failed so much, but I failed so much because I tried so many things, and because I tried so many things, I was more successful than almost every other kid that I could think of. I was the kind of kid that worked on developing skills, so as time went on, I had fewer injuries because my skills grew so much. Now I'm going to share with you some of the childhood fails, bike fails. When I was younger, I used to love using my bike all the time and going off jumps and ramps. So here are 3 things you got to keep in mind when going over jumps. The first thing you need to know when going over jumps is you got to get a good speed going so you can completely get over the jump, or else your front wheel will go over, then your bike will get caught up coming to a complete stop, but you'll keep moving and something like this will happen. The second thing you need to know when going over jumps is to keep your body weight distribution right. Basically, you need to have good balance. Depending on how much you lean forwards or backwards, it depends on a number of factors, like the bike you are using, the jump you're going over, and what you're going to be landing on. If you don't consider these 3 factors, then something like this could happen. Let me tell you, some of these bike falls can get pretty gnarly the faster you go. The third thing you need to know when going over jumps is brace for impact. So you need to ensure that you have a good hold of your handlebars and make sure that your feet are nice and centered on your foot pedals, because if you don't, then part of you can slip off the bike, like your hand or your foot, and that can make the rest of you fall off, kind of like this. So if you are trying to go off some jumps, then you should probably start off small and work your way up. That reminds me of something else you should keep in mind. Make sure that you have a solid jump to go over, or something like this could happen. Wow, that could have been so much worse for that amateur engineer. Another way that I got injured as a kid was with slip and slides. Oh wow, the slip and slides can be a lot of fun with how slick they can be, but with all that friction reduced, it can also have some pretty painful outcomes. Like if your feet accidentally slip out from underneath you when you're running or walking on the slide, then something like this could happen.
Oh, sweet.
Or if you go so fast, then you fly over the pool at the end, then something like this could happen. Yeah, the next time you probably want to spread that out a little better, but then there's times when someone is standing at the bottom of the slide and the next person is already going down the slide, and that's when something like this could happen. Now when you're finished sliding and you know that there's people waiting behind you, you should probably get out of the way. Or if you're the person at the top, then you should just wait your turn and make sure that it's all clear before you go. As a kid, something else that caused so many injuries that is so much fun is the trampoline. I mean, you can put a lot of energy into one of these things, and springs are a conservative force, so if you don't stretch them beyond their elastic deformation, then you will get most or all of the energy right back. Now, not all trampolines have spring covers around the outside, so if you get too close to the side, then your leg or something can slide right in there, and it happens quick, kind of like this. Those holes between the springs are so big, you can even get your head stuck in there. Then there are those nets around the outside. And let me tell you, sometimes these nets, they cause more problems than they solve. Like you can jump so high and come right down on the net, something like this. Like, why are those nets even up like that? Why aren't they angled out more like a bowl? And then there's jumping on a trampoline and going for a flip. Even though the flip happens really fast, for the most part, you think you're doing really good. But then you come down and you hit the trampoline in a way that launches you in a way that you were not expecting. And then something like this could happen. So let us not forget that everything wears down eventually, including trampolines. You know, there's that old trampoline and then you're bouncing on it and you think, oh yeah, everything's going great, and then all of a sudden, bam, the fabric gives out and you go right through it, sort of like this. Now that I think about it, there were so many ways that I injured myself as a kid, but all those fails were necessary from a certain point of view, and from a different point of view, all the injuries I sustained were completely avoidable, or at least they could have been minimized if I had better training, knowledge, or practice. But as a kid, sometimes I just did not have a bunch of patience, so I would just go for it and take the risk. Something about me is that I would usually be the brave one, willing to go first and take the risk. So some people would say that I'm a natural leader. Sometimes that's all it takes to be a leader, is to be brave enough to take the first step and show others what you can do. That way, you can inspire others to realize their exceptional capabilities. I still get myself injured, but now it just happens less frequently because I have so much experience. Whenever I plan something new, I look around for videos that other people made. That way, I learn from their mistakes, so I make less mistakes.